Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Nick from MMA Pixels here with Brady Green. Brady had a big fight this past weekend at Tachi Palace Prospects. Won last Thursday, that is, at Tachi Palace. David Ruzaga, a unanimous decision. How are you doing, Brady?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me.
Oh, man, thanks for coming on. So like I said, you just had that big fight at Tachi Palace. How was that, fighting for Tachi Palace fights?
It was a lot of fun, man. It was definitely one of the more well put together shows I fought for. It was just a blast.
Right, yeah, they usually do pro shows. I'm not sure if they've ever held an amateur show, but this is the first show that they titled Prospects. It felt like a pro show.
Yeah, it really did. I believe it was the first ever all amateur show they've done, but they ran it the same way that they would run a professional show. So it was a great show to be part of.
Right, yeah, they previously the Tachi Palace fights have put on great shows. I think the last two, though, it hasn't been available on the live stream. Before that, they had a live stream available. So if we could get that back up, that'd be great, Tachi. So
Yeah.
going into this fight, you had a unanimous decision. How do you feel about your performance?
I feel like I did really well in the second and third rounds. The first round was actually a little frustrating because I was able to take him down kind of easily, but I was kind of stuck in his guard. I felt like he was working for a submission for the whole first round because he had one of my arms trapped. And I don't know if he was working for like a triangle or an armbar or an omoplata, but I felt like he was working for something. And he was also he was landing shots, and I think I won the decision. It ended up being 29-28 unanimous. So I guess I lost the first round, even though he was on his back. He was doing more damage in the judges' eyes. So I knew when the second round came, I had to adjust, and that's what my coach told me too, because my cornermen were pretty frustrated with my performance in the first round, and they sat me down after the first round. They're like, "Hey, you can't fight like that. You gotta get to work, or you're gonna lose the fight." And so I had to make the changes. The second round, I knew what I had to do. I took him down, and then I did everything I could to get mount. And then once I got that full mount, started dropping some bombs. I feel like that really changed the course of the fight, and it was all me from there.
Right, you said he actually won the first round off his back. It's kind of interesting. Usually you see that, well, you don't usually see that, but when you do see it, it's usually with elbows, and there's no elbows allowed. It was just with punches.
Yeah, it was just punches, and it was really frustrating, like I said, because he had my arm trapped, and so my head was kind of trapped with it. I wasn't really able to posture up. I was really down. I was basically glued to his chest, and he was landing a lot of strikes because I wasn't really able to move my head out of the way as he was landing strikes. And then some of them were kind of getting me in the back of the head, which I was getting kind of frustrated about. Like I was telling the ref, like, "Ref, he's hitting me in the back of the head." And I just in the following rounds, I didn't want to be in that situation again, so I just I adjusted.
In the second round, you got mount. How did that round end? You just ran out of time?
Yeah, I ran out of time. It was only 2-minute rounds, so I just didn't have enough time to finish him. But I was actually, when I was in mount for most of the round, I was punching him from full mount, and I was actually like right next to where my cornermen were, and I kept punching him, and I kept hearing my coach Song Lo. He was telling me, he's like, "Hey, keep punching him. The ref is going to stop the fight." And I was looking over at the ref, and the ref was like really close, and he was about to step in. I saw him, going back and forth, like he was about to step in every strike I landed. But then when that 10-second tap sounded, I knew it probably wasn't going to happen. But my coach, after that second round, my coach was just totally different on the stool. After the first round, he's like, "Hey, you can't fight like that. You gotta make some changes." And then after the second round, my coach was like, "That's what I'm fucking talking about." So I knew what I was doing was working, and then I just decided to stick with that going into the third round.
And did you get tired at all during the fight?
No, not really. My cardio has always been one of my strong suits. Growing up and just participating in various sports, my cardio has always been really good just because of the cardio training that I'm able to do. Like, I don't live in San Francisco, even though I train there, but I live in Redwood City. So I basically live in the middle of the woods. So whenever I'm training cardio, you know, I'm always running through the forest, running through the hills, and it's just great cardio I'm able to do.
So this matchup, you guys didn't have any ill will towards each other. Your fight before last, you guys, you know, kind of had a little bit heat going into it. Did that make anything different for this fight?
Yeah, no, there was absolutely no bad blood or anything. You know, me and David were just totally respectful of each other before, during, and after the fight. You know, but yeah, the fight before last, back in November, there was definitely some bad blood. But me and that guy are cool now too. But you know, honestly, once a fight's over, I put it out of my mind for good. You know, so you know, it didn't really affect this coming fight in any way. You know, like if there's bad blood, if shit happens, then shit happens. But if it happens before, it doesn't really affect any future fights for me.
What was some of the things that you worked on during this training camp that you think that really helped out in the fight?
I mean, I didn't really have much of a camp, to be honest. I took the fight on 1 or 2 weeks notice. So obviously the biggest thing that I just wanted to make sure was that I made weight. And then other than that, I had faith in my training and my training partners, you know, because I train with a lot of pros. Like, some of my main training partners are Brady. He's 8-0 as a pro. I train with Paradise Valvasa, Brandon Famui, you know, Jamie Navarra, and a lot of amateurs that are a lot better than me too, like David Solorzano. So I had faith in my training partners and my just the training that I already have. So just basically staying in shape and making weight was my biggest concern for this fight. And then in terms of actually like making a game plan, it was just sticking to what I know.
This fight was at welterweight 170?
Yeah, well, it was technically 170, but we made it catchweight 165.
Okay. You mentioned you're kind of concerned about making weight. You wanted to make weight. You started off fighting at featherweight, though, correct?
I did, yeah.
And so then you fought at lightweight as well. And then was this your first fight at 170?
Yeah, it was my first fight at 170. My debut was at 155 or 145, and then I fought at 145 2 or 3 more times after that. I think twice more after that I fought at 145, and then that weight cut was a little too much because just because of how frequently I was fighting. You know, I wanted to be able to eat, and you know, when you're fighting every 1 or 2 months, just cutting weight that much so frequently is just not good for you. So I moved up to 155. And then back in February, I fought Matt Reed. And then after I fought Matt Reed, I started getting really, really serious about my lifting. You know, I started consuming a lot more calories, and just I got on a lifting program that's been working great for me. And I put on a little bit of weight, and then making 155 is a little bit hard for me. So I decided for a fight that I'm taking on 2 weeks notice, I'll just fight at 170. And so they said, can I make 165? And I said, yeah, I can make it.
I seen you were scheduled to fight Robert Davis at 170. Do you plan on staying at 170?
I mean, I plan on fighting 170 or 155. It just really depends. The main factor is how much notice I have before a fight. Like, if it's another fight I'm taking on like 1, 2, 3 weeks notice, it'll most definitely be at 170. But if they let me know about a fight, you know, a month or 2 out, then I have no problem dropping to 155.
Right. And then this is same day weigh-ins too, correct?
Yeah, it was same day weigh-ins.
So I want to, you not only fight, you also do some announcing work for Dragon House. How do you like doing that? Is that, do you enjoy doing commentating as well as fighting, or do you like fighting more?
Oh, commentating's a blast, man, you know, because MMA is my favorite sport, and just when you get to be involved in every single fight without actually stepping in the cage, it's almost as much as fighting, almost as much fun as fighting, but not, not quite as fun as being in the cage. But, oh, I love it so much,
Right. You said one of your favorite sports. What other sports do you enjoy watching?
Uh, Pretty much any combat sport, I like watching boxing, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, like college wrestling. And then, I like football, basketball too, but I'm not really into any sports as much as combat sports.
Right. I'm pretty much the same way, especially now that I do this. I just focus so much on, there's so much MMA available, and that's just what I focus on. Do you plan on doing anything outside of fighting and announcing in the industry?
I mean, outside of announcing, I definitely, I'd be interested in doing like analysis, But other than that, my main focus is fighting. I have plans on going pro in the future, and then I don't plan on stopping with the announcing either. So pretty much announcing, analysis, and fighting are my three main concerns.
This seems like a pretty solid plan. You just take both careers at the same level as you move up.
Yeah, definitely.
So who helped you out the most in this training camp? Who are like some of your biggest supporters?
Oh man, well, definitely my entire team. We all push each other. Even if there's somebody on the team that I don't really train with, like heavyweights or like our flyweights or whatever, we're definitely all working together because we're doing cardio together, we're cutting weight together, we help each other cut weight a lot. We're lifting weights together, but the thing is, like, I have a huge team. I have so many teammates, and my gym has, I think, more active, like actually actively competing MMA fighters than most other gyms. So I have way too many teammates to name. But definitely, obviously, the biggest the biggest person is Zong Lo. That's my coach. He's the owner of my team, Dragon House MMA, and some of the training partners I work with a lot. My boy Drew Davis helps me a ton. My best friend and my teammate Dupre Goodman, he helps me a lot too. Even when I'm just getting down and I'm having a rough day or whatever. My boys Drew and Dupre, they're always there to pick me back up. And my teammates. God, I just have too many to name. I'd name them all if I could, but just all my Dragon House MMA teammates. They help me so much. Even when I don't think I can go on and finish, they're always there. They got my back, and I got their back too. And I guess also my parents, my biggest supporters, they help me out a lot. So really, just too many people to name.
Right. Yeah, I didn't mean to put you on the spot there. Make everyone.
Oh, it's all good, man.
So, where can the fans connect with you at social media?
So right now, pretty much the only social media I have my Twitter. It's at the Brady Green. It's TheBradyGreen. And then I have my Instagram too. It's basically the same. It's just without my last name. It's at the Brady, TheBrady. Facebook, but I don't really use it ever.
Right on. And so, perfect scenario, 1 to 2 months from now, a 155 fight.
Yeah, I'd be down. 155 or 170. It doesn't really matter too much. I know I'm pretty strong at either weight because of my strength and conditioning. So.
Hey guys, I thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Give Brady a follow. And if you like this video, give us a subscribe. Appreciate it.